Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is the Tech News Update for Friday, July 7th, 2017. And today in our Tech News Update, that, by the way, it's the fourth time that I'm trying to actually do it, and every time there's a glitch. So let's hope that this time it works. So in our Tech News today, we have the Homeland Security in the United States that says that there's a worrying number of attacks by what looks like state-sponsored hackers to the power plants. Not just in the US, apparently even some power plants in Europe. And they say that it's been increasing for the past 2 months. But the Homeland Security says, no worries, they're not doing anything bad, they're not being able to really hack into anything, and that everything is safe. These are the kind of announcements that you always say, yeah, everything is safe, but, in reality, I'd like to see everywhere and what happens. There's always a little glitch, a little something in security somewhere. So let's hope that these nuclear power plants are very secure, just, for our sake. Well, Apple will actually reach possibly the $1 trillion market value by the end of the year. That would be the first company to ever reach that number. And when you just think about it, $1 trillion of value is just staggering. I take 0.01% of that trillion. Not you? Samsung, I'm talking about big money that we don't have. Samsung will post higher profits than Apple for the first time ever in the second quarter of this year. They will actually have $12.1 billion profit, while Apple will have $10.5 billion profit. Pretty amazing, seeing that Samsung is really beating Apple now. Of course, there's the smartphone business that is really going well for Samsung. But you got to remember also that Samsung has a much more diversified market than Apple, with all sorts of devices, including smart TVs and electronic chips. So, pretty amazing, these companies. Well, after 8 months of release, when we look at Nougat version 7 of the Android operating system, 7 and 7.1 together account now for 11.5% of the Android devices. That's up 2%, which is not bad of an increase, and let's hope that it continues. But Marshmallow still the leader at 31.8%, and it also increased of 0.6%, meaning there's a lot of devices out there with Marshmallow still being sold. Lollipop version 5 is at 30.1%, that's down 0.7%, and KitKat version 4.4, 17.1%, down 1%. But, technically if you look at Lollipop and Marshmallow version 5 and 6, they are the really dominant leaders. Together, they account right now to 61.9% of Android devices. That means most people are still behind. Well, Microsoft, we knew there was a big reorganization. We knew things were happening, that there would be some job losses. Well, Microsoft did announce that 3,000 jobs in its sales force will be actually lost. But most of them outside of the United States, apparently. Now, we know that the sales force in Microsoft is extremely big. I don't remember the exact number, but I do remember that Mary Jo Foley had mentioned the number, and it was like, I was actually surprised at how many sales people were working at Microsoft. And of course, Microsoft is reorienting itself into the cloud. So basically what's happening is that the reorg of the sales force is needed because, they don't need as many sales employees as before. They're really focusing on cloud services much more. The smaller, albeit not that much because it's less than 10% of the sales force, will make it more efficient into, basically how they will market to business and consumers as cloud services grow at an amazingly fast pace. And it's interesting that they are still mentioning consumers, as Windows and Xbox and all consumer products are a very small chunk of Microsoft money. So at least their commitment is still there. and it's going to be interesting to look into the future. And finally, a U.S. judge said to the Department of Justice, nope, we are not going to stop the lawsuit that Twitter has against the U.S. government. Now, what's happening is that big tech companies like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Twitter are in a lawsuit against the U.S. government over the fact that the NSA is ordering all the time to hand over user information, and they just have nothing they can do about it. They have to do it, and that's it. So of course these companies now are in a lawsuit to try to stop this. And of course the Department of Justice tried to stop the lawsuits. The judge said, nope, we are continuing the lawsuits. I don't see why this should stop. They are allowed to sue the government, and that's quite all right. And so this was the Tech News Update for Friday, July 7th, 2017. You enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and thank you for watching.